My fellow Americans, there is something we need to address. This is the State of Vegas address. Hey, what's up, Swimmers and Sharks? Ace of Vegas here. Hope you're doing well. Reopen the bars? Okay, very well. I will not rest until I, a normal Vegas visitor, have forced this governor I have no power over to. I don't know. We're going to do this, though. We're doing this. All right, guys. Good to see everybody here. Oh, the comps guy in the house, and we got Muffy's Vlogs, Vicky in the house, Finesse Kids. Yeah, get those clubs reopened, too. Absolutely. I am working on it, guys. Hey, Jen. Glad you made it to the live stream. Good times, good times. I have committed a party foul over here. My beer kind of bubbled back, so... right? Yeah, if you guys vote for me for Nevada governor, I promise to reopen the nightclubs probably or something. I don't know. Let me go get a napkin and to clean up here. I will be right back. Get a towel. I have just did towels. There we go. All right, we're in there, dog. All right, this goes over here. We don't need these. I don't need my keys anymore. I don't intend to drive. I'm home. Can't do the Obama voice. That's unfortunate. That'd be really nice if I could. He's got a good voice. He really does have a good voice. He's a good public speaker. Say what you will about him politically, and I certainly will say things about him politically. But he was a very good public speaker. So, there's that. Okay, let's get this cleaned up. Alright, we're in there, dog. All tucked. Drinking Labatt's Blue. Yep, drinking that Labatt's. Ryan knows. Ryan knows. Because he's that good. Alright. Which one's left, which one's right? Here we are. That's correct. Alright, Spinners and Sharks. Let's do a little discussion over here. So, Governor Sisolak will be joining us very shortly here. Obviously won't be joining us specifically. We're just kind of watching the stream and we're going to live react to it as things go. Hey, Sin, what's going on? But here's what we need to know going in. So right now we've been looking at the White House documents and Nevada is one of the 18 states in the coronavirus red zone. What does that mean? So as far as that goes, it means that they're in red zones in two places. So the first part of the red zone that they're in means that they've had more than 100 new cases of coronavirus, COVID-19, per 100,000 people in the population this last week. And the other portion is for test positivity. So not only they've had more cases, but out of all the tests that they've done, they've had the most positive. So they've had over 10% positivity is the issue that we're running into. Now, depending on what your state is classified in, and let's be real, there are like 2 or 3 states in the entirety of the United States of America that are currently under 100, or that are currently in the green zone, which I don't remember what the definition of that is. The yellow zone means that there's between 10 and 100 new cases per 100,000 people per week. I think green zone is test positivity under 5% or something like that. I actually do have a couple links I can pass to you guys here, but it's not looking good for a lot of states. Louisiana is another good example. They're recommending things go a little backwards. So, for example, bars be closed, gyms be closed, that sort of thing here too. And now I think we're gonna go ahead and figure out what Governor Sisolak's decision is going to mean, and what that means for your Vegas vacation, and what that means to anyone living in Las Vegas as well. So yes, Ryan, we're actually going to do the broadcast right now. I am going to drop the background here, and yes, we are now live at Town Hall with Governor Sisolak's chair. We're live with his chair. Where the hell is he? Okay, we got about 4 minutes. We have 4 minutes, my fellow Americans and Canadians and Brits, if you guys are awake right now, of course, and Aussies as well. And I think my fellow Japanese and my fellow Germans. I think those are the most popular demographics. Oh, and my fellow Mexicans too. Yes, because Mexico is actually, I think, number 6 after the United States on the demographics for the channel as well. So, my fellow people of the world, my fellow Vegas, dear leaders, your niece peasants, Boris, I love you. You're the best. Oh man. So what else can I do? What other empty campaign promises can I make? See if we can get some out-of-state voters in there. Maybe get some Canadian interference, and I will be the governor of Nevada. I promise to abolish all resort fees unless they give me, like, a really, really big bribe. In which case, y'all are screwed on resort fees. Gamble more. It'd be like that, fam. Yes, free comps for everyone. Hey, Tyler, good to see you, bud. How you doing? All right, we're getting ready. So let's go ahead and do the over-under here. So we're starting at 6 o'clock for this whole thing. It's scheduled till 7. Or, excuse me, it's 6 o'clock my time. So, you know, you're hired. Only if you stop drinking Labatt's. Well, you know what? I bought a 6-pack. I drank one yesterday. I have this one here. So that means I have 4 more in that fridge. So forget about 4 more years. It's 4 more beers. 4 more beers. Somebody was just messing with the camera. God, keep the camera in place. Like, I know I have problems with shaky cam too, but you know, I fixed that because I got, hold up. You know, I got tripods now, so I'm fixing the shaky cam. I also have my Pocket Osmo too. That's got a built-in gimbal. Just keep the camera in the same spot, guys, really. I think my streams are slightly better than Sisolak's. Not saying much, but in fairness, I have a slightly smaller budget than old man Steve does. So, I don't know. Maybe my budget for streaming is bigger than his. I have a full copy of OBS free 32-bit version, not even 64-bit version, on a Windows 10 laptop. Just a regular i7. It's not even a big deal. And he's got the entire state government budget to do these streams, so who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Let's see how we do. Let's get a shot while we wait. Robbie coming through in the live chat. All right. Well, we only got just another minute, so let's go ahead and see. Thumbs up for 4 more beers. Good deal. We got Pat coming through. All right. Well, Robbie asked for a shot. We'll do a shot. Hang tight for just a second. 4 more years, 4 more beers. And since I've been elected your leader, I'm going to take a quick shot of captain to prove my captainship. There we go. All right. So cheers. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, Spinners and Sharks. Now we're waiting for the Honorable Governor Sisolak, or Sissy Quack, as some of you guys like to call him. Oh yeah, that reminds me. All right, another shot. We'll get the rest of that shot there. It was a rough day at work. I might just start drinking them straight out the bottle here. Okay. Alright, let's see where we left off. Heidi, good to see you there. Alright, Honorable Governor Sisolak is a little late right now, I'm seeing. I'm glad that you guys all made it, though. Just getting my mouse so I can move around the OBS. Not sure how long I'm gonna keep the blazer on over here. It is hot as bollocks. I mean, I'm sure it's hotter in Nevada. I think it is, frankly, but you know, it is hot as bollocks out here, mate. Seems as honorable as New Scum in Cali. I'll tell you, man, you know, politicians, that's one thing I think all politicians have in common, is they're all crooks, if you ask me. I try to keep politics out of the videos, but it's mainly because I don't trust politicians. I don't like politicians. I don't care if they're on the left. I don't care if they're on the right. But let's take some odds over here. So, Sin City Nick, so Creeper Nick over here, he's got $5 on the pools closing. So we'll cover those odds. All right, so who thinks that the salons and barber shops are going to close? Because that was in the White House document. There was also a bit in the White House document where they recommended closing all in-house dining. So unless it's outdoor, they're saying none of that. 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, Muff, I'm not feeling that, brother. So we're estimating pools are going to close, unfortunately. We're estimating salons and barber shops. That's the thing I was a little worried about personally, too. I think we're estimating... Oh, what else was it? Yep, gyms. That was another one for Parlay. Yep, 100%. So no indoor dining, no haircuts, no pools, no gyms. We already closed the bars, unfortunately. Gatherings over 10 people, nixed. And that's the thing I'm concerned about. Because in a casino, you can't have a gathering of less than 10 people. Really. Especially with the way like things are kind of put together. They'd have to close for like a week just to kind of move things over. You know, it'd be very difficult. And Spinners and Sharks, I don't know what's going on over here. Governor Sisolak was supposed to be hanging with us here. I don't know what's going on. We should be live. We're at the live. I can hear the dead air. Where is Governor Sisolak? I'm going to check it. I'm going to reload this whole window. Governor Sisolak, are you joining us today? Now the real question is, will we lose the casinos? I question that. Governor Sisolak, where are you, sir? Will you be showing up, or are you going to abdicate on this press conference too, like you did the last time we tried to stream this? Governor Sisolak? Let's see. I think he must be over at Jacob's stream, because Jacob, well, I don't think it's a stream. It looks like it's a straight up video over here. I wonder if we can see the press conference. Let's see. Let's type in Nevada State Legislator. This says they're live now. I'm going to check their YouTube. Oh, Governor Sisolak is live. It just didn't upload on the... Okay, so let's go ahead and move this over. All right, so let's catch up.
And in the month of July...
Oh, goodness, that's loud.
Our case count, hospitalizations, and sadly, our fatalities have all been on the rise.
All right, so that's Governor Sisolak, guys.
But there are areas where we've made great progress. Nevada has seen a significant increase in testing, mask wearing, and compliance with the health and safety rules. Recently, we have started to see some positive signs in our data, including a potential slow and gradual flattening out in both cases and hospitalizations. The analysts at DHHS believe the forward progress is a direct result of some of the previous mitigation measures that we have put in place, like mandatory face coverings and more enforcement to ensure people are staying safe and practicing proper precautions against COVID-19.
Good.
Today, Nevada's R effective dipped under 1.0 just slightly to a number of 0.98. That's 0.98, which is a good sign. This measures the average number of people who become infected by a person who has COVID-19.
So that's a contact
When the
tracing.
R effective is under 1, it means the virus is not spreading as much. On June 28th, just a month ago, our R effective level was 1.63. And that was one of the highest in the nation.
So that's over a 60%
Thanks to all of you,
drop.
progress has been made. For right now, anyway, we are among the lowest in the nation. While these are encouraging signs, it is too soon to know if the state is experiencing an ongoing trend or if our recent numbers are just a small blip. Either way, the reality is that in our current situation, Nevada still has a high prevalence of COVID-19. 2 weeks ago, we established the elevated risk transmission criteria for counties looking at 3 key statistics: the average number of tests per day, the case rate, and the test positivity rate.
Interesting.
We looked at these figures over a 2-week period and controlled and adjusted the criteria for population size. 7 counties at the time met 2 or more of the criteria were considered at risk and needed to take the additional mitigation efforts of closing bars, pubs, taverns, and wineries to slow the spread of COVID-19. Based on our 2-week review of the data, the list has shrunk to 4 counties: Clark, Elko, Nye, and Washoe.
Clark
At
is
this
where
time,
Vegas is.
those 4 counties will stay with these mitigation measures for the next week. Humboldt, Lander, and Lyon County have shown enough improvement on the existing criteria to return to the statewide standards, meaning pubs, bars, and taverns can reopen at 50% capacity while maintaining social distancing and mandatory face coverings.
Oh, guys, that's reopening.
This goes into effect immediately.
Excellent.
I want to reemphasize that this is for the next week as we address our long-term strategy moving forward. Over the last 2 weeks and over the course of the last 5 months, we have learned a lot, day to day, about how best to analyze this data and tackle this disease. For example, in the last 2 weeks, while reviewing data used in this criteria, we saw several of the smaller counties frequently move on and off the list by meeting 2 or more of those criteria, and have fluctuated on an almost daily basis. We know we need more consistency. That's why I wanted to let Nevadans know tonight that over this next week, the Nevada Health Response Team is working to finalize a long-term mitigation strategy for the state of Nevada. I'll be rolling that out for you next Monday.
I see.
I believe this plan will help us to achieve 2 important goals. Number 1, with this new plan, no business, local government, or individual should be surprised by future actions, as the trends, good and bad, will be announced regularly and the resulting actions will be clear. Number 2, it invests all of us in this fight together. Those who want to keep our restaurants, gyms, and other activities open can do their part to make this happen. Those that don't will be the ones responsible for further restrictions that are put in place.
Okay, so this is Dad's restriction.
This new long-term strategy will include the following key components.
Listen up, guys.
Updated criteria. One of the goals includes working with DHHS to develop more in-depth, data-driven criteria to better identify the presence and spread of the disease throughout our state. We are looking to adjust our current criteria so that it more closely follows overall trends, minimizes the week-to-week or day-to-day fluctuation for counties, and better demonstrates which counties are getting progressively better or worse, and therefore which should be tightened up or loosened mitigation efforts.
So it's going to go county by county. That's actually kind of
Predictability.
clever.
I know the past 5 months have been rough on the businesses and residents throughout our country. In Nevada, is no different. Through shutdowns, reopenings, phases, and more, I understand that the unpredictability hasn't been easy. That's why one of my main goals is to create a long-term system of mitigation levels that will allow our business and residents to have advance notice and understanding on what direction their county could be heading based on updated criteria. No more phases. In an effort to create more predictability as a state,
Okay.
we want to move away from phases. Like I've mentioned,
That's a big deal.
we've learned a lot about this virus in the last 5 months. And while phases made sense at the time, we've got to be flexible and responsive to what we are seeing now. This new approach will set Nevada up for the long term. This is our new normal. Increased enforcement.
Oh, new normal.
Ensuring businesses and communities enforce our mitigation efforts are key in helping reduce the spread, which is why our long-term strategy will have a goal of stricter enforcement of our safety rules. This will include measures that aim to ensure that business establishments who serve unmasked patrons may be closed if it's a pattern of noncompliance, and that a non-compliant resort could have part or all of their property closed for a period of time. Water, theme parks, sporting events, gyms, and other businesses and venues for gathering will be closely scrutinized and treated accordingly. I'm proud of the work OSHA has done to enforce existing measures, but I also want to thank the county, our county partners, who have increased enforcement and done their part. And as for those municipal governments, the ones that aren't doing their part, please know that the state will be reaching out to you this week with the expectation that you will be stepping up to help us as well. To put it bluntly, the time for education is over. Businesses, Nevadans, and visitors should all be familiar with the expectations of reduced indoor capacity, required face coverings, and social distancing. We are close to 5 months in. No more excuses. If people aren't following the rules to keep us safe, there needs to be consequences. Which leads me to targeting. Another key component of this long-term plan will be more specific targeting in our mitigation efforts. Just as we've done with our vulnerable populations, we want to make sure we're taking targeted approaches to counties, businesses, and industries that have shown the need for additional assistance and intervention to spread this deadly virus, to stop the spread of this deadly virus. Just as we have transitioned from state interventions to looking specifically at county level data, my goal is to soon look within these counties to see if there are certain municipalities or certain zip codes we need to target more specifically with mitigation and or enforcement measures. Similarly, with economic sectors within our state, we want to transition to targeting specific businesses that may be experiencing outbreaks versus industries as a whole, unless those industries as a whole are shown to pose an incredibly high risk of spread. I believe that most of our businesses and communities have made great efforts to be as safe as they can, and targeting problematic areas will help protect the good actors. Additionally, I will be signing a new directive before July 31st, which will extend the current restrictions and provisions that are currently in place. And finally, I formed an advisory group, which will be led by Caleb Cage, our statewide COVID-19 response director. This group, made up of agency directors in charge of enforcement, public health, and more, along with local government and hospital representatives, will be responsible for reviewing the criteria, data, and progress each week. They will work directly with our county officials, including the LEAP, on enhanced enforcement, focused targeting, and next steps to reduce the spread. They will be critical in helping to finalize and ultimately implement this long-term strategy. One more thing. I want to thank Caleb and Julia for holding daily press calls to brief the media and provide more context on our situation. Going forward, I will join them at least once a week to share additional news and updates. We continue to encourage Nevadans to take precautions against the spread of this disease, including staying home when possible, always staying home when you're sick, practicing social distancing, washing your hands frequently, and wearing a face covering. Thank you. I would now be happy to take some questions.
Oh, I've got a question for you, Governor.
Just a reminder, when you come up to the podium to ask a question, if you could turn the mic on and off so the folks following the stream at home can hear you.
Oh, damn, he's coughing now, too. Look at this shit.
Okay. Hi, Governor. This is Miles Bergen from News 4 and Fox 11. Several states hold daily or weekly press briefings, but the public hasn't heard from you for more than 20 days, at least it seems. Why allow so much time in between press conferences?
Well, you know, I don't believe in having a press conference, just have a press conference. It was a little bit better than 2 weeks ago that we had the press conference. We've wrapped up a legislative session, and we'll try to do a better job communicating.
Hey, Governor.
Morning, evening.
I wonder if there's any circumstances under which you would consider closing casinos again. Is there like a bright line somewhere that you're looking at?
Obviously, casinos are our largest employer, the most number of employees that we possibly have. They're working with my administration and with me to implement all of the mitigation measures that we've put in place. At the same time, we are monitoring them very closely to make sure that those are in place, and we will continue to monitor them closely, but I don't want to speculate any further.
You're monitoring them. Are you looking for any line that, as far as COVID metrics that might prompt you to rethink closing
No, we're
casinos?
looking, when we send GCB in there, the Gaming Control Board, we're looking for those that are violating on a certain area, whether they're not wearing masks, whether they're not social distancing, if there's too many people at the pool, that sort of thing. And we will continue to do that, and they'll take appropriate enforcement actions.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Governor. We recently learned that 2/3 of the inmates at the Arizona private prison, where 100 Nevada inmates are, have tested positive for COVID. There's also reports that some of this is happening in another private prison within our borders. Do you feel like our inmates are safe in that private prison in Arizona?
Well, we sent COVID tests, the rapid tests, into those prisons to make sure that they're all tested. We're going to do everything we can. That's why they were tested, and I think we found 69 or 70 positives. We're doing everything we can to make sure that they get the care that they need. And right now, I think we're okay, but we're continuing to monitor that situation.
Does this change anything about how long they'll stay or anything you're directing the private prison to do about
Well,
this?
they're on a short time frame anyway. Private prisons, how long they can stay there. As for right now, I don't want to bring 70 positive patients back to Nevada until they're been tested and they've been proved to be negative, but we'll have to handle that situation that comes forward.
And of course, the ACLU has asked you today to maybe take some additional efforts to promote transparency about COVID cases in the jail, in the prisons. Are you going to take any specific actions to protect inmates that are in our system?
I don't know what the ACLU asked because I haven't seen it yet, but we handle the prisons, the counties handle the jails, the detention centers. I assume that they're taking action as it relates to the folks that are incarcerated there, but we're testing our folks. I think our testing has been better than almost anybody in the country in terms of positives. We've been extremely fortunate in the state of Nevada, and hopefully it'll stay that way.
Thank you. And let's try to stick to one question at a time for the governor so we can get through them all. Thanks.
Hi, Governor. So just to be clear, next week then we'll be hearing more about what's happening in Clark, Washoe, Nyanelco. Do you expect that the trends will be such that they will be able to reopen those the bars there?
If I could forecast that, I'd be, very happy, but I can't. I can only look at the data that we get on a daily basis. What's gonna make that determination is how many people follow the rules, how they follow the mitigation. I mean, I'm still getting resistance, you know that, to masks. Suddenly everybody's a virologist or an epidemiologist or an infectious disease expert, and they can tell you how many molecules come through a mask. They read one article on Google, and suddenly they're an expert on this. I rely on professional medical opinion, and that's what I'm going to continue to rely upon.
And then with the special session, do you have, can you give us an idea of some of the priorities you have for that?
Well, we listed a few of them after the end of the last session. We're still working on the final document moving forward, and we're only a couple days out, so it'll be soon.
Okay, thank you.
Soon. Final.
Hi, Governor. The Supreme Court narrowly upheld the state's policy regarding the 50-person cap on religious gatherings. You indicated early last month that your staff was in discussion with representatives of Calvary Chapel about trying to come to some sort of resolution. Now that the Supreme Court upheld the cap, do you have any plans to continue those negotiations, or is there no need to seek any sort of compromise?
Well, I'm always willing to talk to people, and I appreciate the fact that the United States Supreme Court upheld the directive. I'm a person of faith. I watch service online now. Is what I have to do. I never thought I would have been watching Mass on my telephone, a couple days a week. And it's unfortunate. That's what we have to do. At the same time, there were 2 priests that tested positive in Southern Nevada. I don't know if you followed that. And those parishioners were potentially exposed. One of those celebrants I happen to know. Well, you'd go there on a regular basis when I was back in Las Vegas. But, it's my job to keep folks safe. And it's just not safe when we get large gatherings put together like that. And I know people object to it. I want to have faith institutions, have more flexibility, but until we get control on this virus, there's nothing we can do. And if people want to open up the churches, I can tell you, they can open up the churches. Wear a mask, practice social distancing, and don't get into large groups, and our numbers will go down. It's up to the general public to determine how long we stay in each phase and what the restrictions are going to be.
So I just had a quick question for Ms. Peak. So we're talking about switching from industry-wide regulations to specific businesses. What kind of contact tracing capacity will we need to do that, and do we have it?
That's a great question. So we're going to be implementing two things this week. In our Salesforce tool that I've talked about in the past, we've just started the case investigation tool within there. It has occupation. It has about 25 different indicators related to more surgically understanding where somebody was at a location, pool, restaurant, bar, etc. And then also we have another 100 case investigators and contact tracers coming on this week. Additionally, we're training all the contact tracers to also be case investigators because that was the bottleneck. So we're at a really good place in Nevada right now. If we need to increase that, we will.
He has a whole panel?
Thanks, folks. We have time for a couple more questions. If we could just try to keep it to one question each, please.
Governor, the Secretary of State has expressed some interest in moving back to an in-person election this November. Obviously, we're less than 100 days. We need to make a decision soon. Do you support that decision?
Well, we're 99 days out. You're absolutely right, and a lot shorter of that till early voting starts. It's very important to me that every citizen in the state of Nevada is allowed the opportunity to vote in a safe, effective manner, that they don't have to be in line till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to cast their ballot. I don't know what we'll be experiencing in October, November in terms of this virus, but I certainly want the ability for all citizens to be able to vote and know that they don't have to decide between exposing themselves to COVID and casting a ballot when it comes to the election. So that's something we're going to deal with in a special session.
Would you support mandating mail-in ballots for everybody?
Well, that's something we're going to deal with in a special session that you'll see in 2 days, 3 days. Thank you.
Thanks, and I think we'll have time for the last three that are in line here.
3 questions.
In regards to schools, the president says he wants them open. You've got several schools that are coming out with mixed plans. What are your thoughts on the coming school year and your preference?
Schools are extremely important to me. Obviously, our kids need to get back to school. They need to get back to being educated. We've got a multitude of issues there. You've got the students, you've got the teachers, you've got the parents, you've got the employees that work there. You've got other issues that are associated with the schools. If the schools aren't open, you've got a nutrition situation for the kids, you've got a daycare situation for the kids. We gave, after meeting with the superintendents from all 17 counties, we gave them the flexibility to come up with their own plan. Most of them have done that already and submitted the plan to Superintendent Ebert, who, by the way, has done an absolutely remarkable job working our way through this and guiding them. Some have not done that yet. I understand there are issues, as I said, with whether it's meals, whether it's daycare, whether it's transportation. I just hope that the schools get to that quickly to give the parents some certainty, but I want to make sure that the students are in a safe environment. So I'll leave it up to the school districts.
So what's your preference in your personal opinion?
Well-
Open them fully up at this point, or the mixed? What is your?
Yeah, I'm not going to weigh in on that because I don't want to influence the superintendents of the various districts. I mean, the districts are separate. When my wife and I drove up here the last time, the number of students that are in a school in Lovelock is nowhere near the number of students that are in a classroom in Clark or Washoe. They're different. Everybody's different. And that needs to be taken into account. That's why we gave the various school districts the flexibility to make those decisions on their own, and then to have a plan in terms of how to deal with it. But we are doing a couple of things. We are working now to purchase more PPE for those schools that are going to be going in person, and to provide testing for the folks that are going in, whether the faculty or the administration needs it or whatnot. So we're continuing to be involved. Thank you.
Who else does he have?
James?
Actually, I think he just cannibalized my question mostly, but
All right, we'll
Same
make another
guy.
one up. Go ahead.
yeah, I was going to ask about it. Kevin Dick, the Washoe County health officer, said it wasn't safe to reopen schools. A couple of your own top health advisors apparently said that it was safe to reopen elementary schools. Can you just help us reconcile that best as you can?
I think what you're seeing when it comes to opening schools is what I see on a daily basis with this plethora of decisions that we have to make. I mean, you get two experts that are giving you different opinions. Some people will say that, everybody who's got an educated opinion will tell you wearing a mask or a face covering is effective. Some will tell you that 6 feet in a restaurant, you don't need if you're outside. Others will tell you that you do. They will tell you that you should only have 25% capacity, not 50. There's plenty of room for different opinions, and that's what we've gotten on this, the school situation. Everybody has different parameters, I think, that they're dealing with. I mean, for some folks, the daycare is not a situation, or the nutrition is not a situation. For others, it's the most important thing about the school day. I saw that the NAIA is eliminated fall sports. They're going to put them all in the spring, which I think shows that they're concerned about it. You saw what happened today with Major League Baseball. I think the Marlins had 14 people test positive, and they're pretty restrictive on these folks. So there's a lot to be concerned about. We're following it very, very closely. I know some schools across the country opened up today. Yeah. So we'll be looking in terms of how that works and what the best avenue is moving forward. But that's a responsibility and a decision we left up to the local school boards and superintendents.
Thanks, Governor.
Sure.
Great, and we'll take this as the last question, Governor.
Last one.
All right, Governor, you say you're moving away from phasing. I know we had phase 2, possibility of a phase 3. So you say you have a new directive. Right. Anything you can tell the public just about what's going to be in that new directive? Well,
yeah. What is important to me, and, in the previous directives, we closed all the bars, when we got to a certain point. In hindsight, I don't know if that was the fairest way to do it, because I had a lot of bars that I'm being told were extremely proactive and extremely effective in terms of mitigating and taking the appropriate protocols. Others just kind of let whatever happen. And that's what I need to do. I need to get away from, I'm tired of educating. I'm tired of ambassadors that deal with this stuff. I'm tired of information officers. I need enforcement officers that are going to go out and punish the bad guys and not punish the good guys. That's why I give Chairman Kirkpatrick an incredible amount of credit, and in Bob Lucy credit in Washoe. But some of the municipalities, and I'm going to be very candid, it's not a joke. This isn't a joke when somebody's wearing a doily on their face and says that that's a mask, or another city council person says, well, I don't want them coming into my area to mom and pop businesses and closing anybody down. Well, they know what the rules are, and they need to be treated the same way as everybody else does. The violators need to be punished, and those that are following the rules need to be rewarded and allowed to keep open. And if everybody sticks with that, we'll be a lot better off.
Thanks, Governor.
Did anybody have something for Caleb? I mean, he came all the way over here.
I mean, I do, but you can't hear me.
Got a Caleb question? Go ahead.
I'll think of one while we're speaking. Just a question about the eviction moratorium. It's September 1st. As we progress here and closer to that date, is there any thinking about delaying that?
Yeah, well, that's something that we'll probably be looking at during the legislative special session coming up. The rent assistance, I think we had 3,000 people applied on the first day, but there's more money available for those that didn't apply. So I encourage everybody to do that. This is all in a state of flux, whether it's that rental assistance money, it's the eviction moratorium, it's the unemployment money that's coming in, whether it's going to stay at 600 or get reduced. Those are issues that we're going to have to face on a daily basis.
Here's a question for Caleb.
There you go.
Testing now is the delays in returning them are 7 to 14 days in some cases. Are you concerned about that? Is that getting better?
Thank you, Bill, for the question. So we have been monitoring. In fact, we had a conference call this morning with the state testing chief to discuss this. I'll say that testing volume has increased tremendously, and I could probably tell you the numbers for today, but there are thousands of tests a day that are going in through the system, and we are regularly looking for ways to decrease the burden on the public health system. And we have a statewide contract with one private provider right now who's got a couple of innovative solutions that'll help us with that, especially at public institutions where we can use different kinds of testing there, as well as ensuring that we have point of care testing at our nursing facilities. And I believe we had 14 nursing homes in the state that just received rapid tests. So those are facilities that will not be sending their tests through public labs, and they have a high frequency of staff and residents that they need to test. And we're working with, through DPBH, the Division of Public and Behavioral Health, we're working with a number of remaining nursing homes to make sure that they get the point of care rapid testing as well. So to answer your question, yes, it's something that we are working on a daily basis, that the governor has made testing a foundation, a cornerstone of his reopening plan, because we have to identify who is positive with the virus, so that Julia and her team can do contact tracing. And we are working just as hard as we can to get those numbers down on the turnaround, and trying to expand the group of labs that are processing those tests as much as we possibly can.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thanks for coming out, everyone.
You got another question for Caleb?
One more for Caleb, of course.
We'll do a Caleb question. Come on,
Okay,
Nate.
Governor.
Caleb, do you believe that the mask policy is actually working? The governor hinted at, there's a lot of theories out there.
So, not a statistician, but I do know that correlation is not causality in statistics, and it's really hard to determine those things. However, I will say, based on the best analysis from the best minds in the state that are looking at these things on a daily basis, I absolutely believe that the mask directive and the subsequent directives have made the impact that we're seeing right now. I'll echo the governor. We're hoping and looking to continue to see these very good numbers, that are improving numbers that we've seen over the last 4 days. But I don't see any way around it. There's nothing that has changed. If you consider in the 4th of July, which we anticipated an uptick from, these directives, I believe, are making a difference. I'd also say, this is something that my colleague Julia speaks about often, is the directives are important, but the enforcement numbers that we see have been increasing and improving as well. So the directives are important because they actually have a science-based approach to reducing the spread of the virus, but making sure that business and industry, and Chair Kirkpatrick, as you called out a moment ago, and Chair Lucy and folks from around the state are actually taking the enforcement seriously. I believe that those two things together are producing the numbers we're having right now. And I believe the better enforcement gets and the better compliance gets with the directives, the better off we're going to be as a state.
And I want to stress that when you listen to, whether it's Dr. Gottlieb or Dr. Birx or Dr. Fauci, they all recommend wearing masks. They're unanimous in recommending wearing masks. The only one that don't want to wear masks is, unfortunately, the president isn't wearing them enough. And people that, I don't know, they look up on Google or something, and they, know the size of molecules that are coming out of your mouth. It doesn't work. That argument makes no sense. I mean, to have a protest about wearing masks is ridiculous. I wear a mask for all of you, and you wear a mask for me. That's what this is about. That's why we wear masks. It works. Now, I can attest, Dr. Fauci will admit to it. He's not the greatest. He's a phenomenal doctor, not the best pitcher in the world, if you saw his pitch. But his job is to make sure you don't catch anything. So I think that's what he was amplifying with that pitch. So thank you.
And do you guys have any concern that Clark County's in the red zone? What's your response to us being there?
Well, I think that, again, I'm going to go back to Chair Kirkpatrick has done an incredible job. I mean, they are citing, they are closing businesses, suspending licenses. I wish I got the same amount of assistance from some of the municipalities where some of the problems are, but we're going to start doing now some zip code analysis and send in inspectors and enforcement officers. We have to. I'm not sending in ambassadors, and I'm not sending in training professionals in how to wear a mask. I think they know that by this time, and I expect them to comply and to help us out here. We're in this together. If I've got one municipality that's not enforcing these laws, everybody suffers. And if they want to be responsible that we're going to have to reduce capacity in restaurants or close gyms or close water parks or close salons or whatever it's because of stubbornness. And that's not fair to everybody else. That's all. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, is he leaving? Holy fuck. This player left. He is like, peace out. I'm taking my sanitizer and going home. Okay. Or his tiny bottle of water, what have you. Okay. Spinners and Sharks. That's it. GG, no re. Okay. Damn, we had like 599 people up in this chat over here. Thank you all so much for coming through. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, everyone just bounced at that shit. 600 players up in the stream over here. That's brilliant. All right, guys. Well, let's have a little post show over here. I got about 24 minutes until dinner time. I think that no, we're not leaving CDA. Hold up. We're not leaving yet, guys. Let's talk about this shit a little bit. Can we talk about this? Hold the fuck up. Can I say fuck? It's my show. I can say fuck. Okay. All right. So, good news. So Heather, let's go ahead and do an abridged version over here for anybody that hasn't come through. First off, hit that thumbs up right quick. Second up, let's go ahead and do an abridged version. No, the casinos are not closing down. So basically, what the good governor Sisolak is saying, oh hey, Granny, good to see you. He's saying, Granny, good to see you. Basically, what he said is that he's going to evaluate things going forward on a case-by-case basis. That's the big thing. So casinos are not closing down, not formally. What is going to happen is he's going to be evaluating numbers continuously. He's going to be evaluating streams continuously. And he's going to be contact tracing still. It sounds like they're trying to contact trace a little more accurately now, which may or may not see. I don't know. Yeah, he did say something about the new normal that freaked me right the hell out, but we're not going to get into that. I wonder if that is the real Danny Trejo in here. That'd be epic. Well, I guess that would still be a real Danny Trejo, but you know. But the casinos are officially not closing, Spinners and Sharks. So that's all right. The big thing right now is keeping up with your masks. So whether you believe masks work or not, scientifically speaking, I've seen scientific evidence. I believe the scientists that I've read about, they're saying, yo, it's chill, wear the masks. Now, that's not a end-all be-all. A mask will not kill this thing. We're still going to have problems. But a mask is going to help us out a little bit. The bars are still closed in Clark County. So if you're going to Vegas, the bars are still closed in Clark County, and they're going to be reevaluating that week to week. We're still going to keep our bars. We're still going to keep our gyms. We're still going to keep the salons. So he's not closing anything. We're going to be looking at individual businesses and seeing how they operate. So we're going to see about that. Pluto, no, we are not shutting down. That's a no. We are not shutting down. There you go. Nick's got a good question. Why did no one ask him why the ladies at Palomino have to wear clothes? That's a very good question. I don't know. I guess COVID is spread through nipples. Who knows? And now the stream is 100% demonetized. What a shame. What a goddamn shame. All right, whatever. But yes, guys, we can get to Vegas. We can and they are going to be opening some bars. Yes, Jonathan X is 100% correct. So depending on the county, they're actually going to go by county. So county to county. And then once they get down with the counties, it's going to be bar to bar. And then they're going to make sure that they're set up to open. And they're also going to set up to keep themselves open. That's the big thing. So hold up. I got to take my blazer off. I'm done being professional. This is the after party. Yeah, Craig, you're not going to be able to do that in August, I don't think. There aren't any major new rules. So they're not going to close the pools, Davrock. It doesn't look like they're going to try and do that. They're just going to try and keep things the way they are right now. Now, here's another interesting thing the governor mentioned. The governor mentioned we're going to stay open in phases right now. Hold up, let me go ahead and switch back over here. I don't think they ever got this. I think is this my stream? I don't know. Where is the actual, I don't know what the document is, but no, it's looking pretty good. Looks like we're going to stick with, we're going to get rid of phases right now. There will be no more phases. Raiders, Sal, and Ensign Cal, chances of Garth Brooks happening on the 22nd, I'm going to say that's pretty low. He didn't say that we could do concerts. He didn't say that we could do big gatherings. He didn't say that we could do shows or anything like that. Online schooling might still be a thing for a little while. He was really kind of non-committal to a lot of these things. And I think that could be, I don't know. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. It's like super hyped about protecting the people. And I mean, I think the rights that's a whole nother thing. And I don't want to get into a major political debate about what the governor's job is, because I don't particularly care. What I want to know is what my subscribers and what my friends can do if they expect to go to Vegas. So this is what we're looking at. I don't think we're looking at any major closures here, as long as the casinos are doing well. And actually, Governor Sisolak seems to be a big supporter of the casinos. Now, whether that gambling granny, that is correct. Pools are indeed still open here. But honestly, at this point, he seems to be a big supporter of the casinos. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with our old friend Jim Murin. James Murin. He used to be the CEO of MGM Resorts. That is now Bill Hornbuckle. But the thing about Uncle Jim now is that he works on the governor's task force. So, just saying, he works on the governor's task force, and he's been trying. I think he's been fighting to keep the casinos open, and I think he's going to keep fighting to keep the casinos open, and that might be partially why. Now, I can't verify that. I cannot verify that. I don't know Jim Murin personally. I don't know Governor Sisolak here, so we're looking all right. And Jack had another question about the lockdowns over here. Oh, Pete, thank you very much. Appreciate that super chat here. I got to do some shout outs for the super chats over here, because Nick and Kino both came through with the super chat. I appreciate you guys doing that. So did Robbie earlier. So thank you all for the super chats. Kyle, no, they did not say anything about churches opening. It seems like they're going to keep things pretty much the same there. He wasn't super hyped about that, It's weird. And yeah, he's still going to his church services online, to be perfectly frank with you. So he's like, and he was kind of like gearing towards that might be a new normal. I'm not sure how that works with church worship there. I grew up Catholic myself there, and I'm pretty sure, I guess theoretically you can still do that. I kind of feel like you should be able to go to your church. I'm very much a big proponent of freedom of speech, freedom of religion. That's the biggest thing, But yeah, go to your pool. He didn't actually restrict anything else. So eating in restaurants, as far as I know, you don't have to deal with that. It's one of those big things. Oh, Tori, thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Thank you for that super chat. Nice. Thank you very much. All right, guys, let's go ahead. But yeah, I guess going to church online, that's going to be an interesting thing. I don't know. Growing up, I always went to church in person. That wasn't even like an option. Although I guess if what the preacher told me is true, God's everywhere. He prefers to have you in his house. But, you can pray from anywhere. And I think that's a good thing. I think you should be able to pray from anywhere. I think freedom of speech is a good thing. Freedom of religion is a great thing, too. You should be able to practice however you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Practice how you want. Believe in what you want is a good thing. Whether you're, Catholic, Christian, Muslim, what have you, Jewish, whatever. Practice what you want as long as you're not harming anybody. I think that's a great thing. Wonderful. I think we got another 16 minutes over here. So, what other questions do you guys have in the live chat over here? Let me see. Danny is saying, no movie theaters so far. Correct, yeah, he's not announced opening. So he hasn't announced any new openings. So movie theaters, nightclubs, anything like that, no new openings there. Yeah, Liz is 100% right. It's in our Constitution, and you know what? I may not necessarily always agree with what somebody says, but I'll tell you what, I will go grab my sword from the back room over there, and I will cut somebody up to protect their right to say whatever they want, That's the thing. Let's see. Hey, Kyle, welcome aboard. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I love that freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. I don't necessarily have to agree with what you say, but, I love the fact that you can say it. As long as you're not hurting anybody, go for it. It's your beliefs. It's what's in your mind. It's what's in your heart. That's the important stuff. Let's see, Robert. When are you going to have a merch store? Actually, I'm working on launching a store probably this weekend, Robert. So I'll hit you up, bro. I'll hit you up. B2B, when are you setting up a Patreon? I might not, but I'm thinking about doing a YouTube membership. I just really want something good for my members, so it's not just like, hey, 99 cents and you support me every month. I know a lot of people would do that, and I really appreciate that. But I want to have something to give back. So that'd be a big thing. Let's see. I know I had somebody in here that's an ICU nurse, and I hope she stuck around too, because I want to hear more about what ICU in Clark County is looking like. Because I know it's not it's not a big. I mean, it's a big thing, so you know. Oh, Craig, welcome aboard. Thank you very much. GM Martinez, are the malls closing? No new closures announced. Just new restrictions. They're going to be checking things on a case-by-case basis. So that's going to be a big thing there. So just going case by case. Let's make sure we do everything we can there. Oh, Gwen, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Gwen's always coming through. Gwen is definitely one of my strongest supporters right there. If I had to build a list, it's a great thing. Thank you so much. But yes, guys, I'll work on the merch there, and I'll keep you posted on this sort of stuff too. And Duet, appreciate you. Thank you again for the super chat here. Thank you guys all so much for the super chats here. We're gonna keep up on things. Elizabeth, good point. Mind and heart, but you forget common sense, intelligence, and reasoning. Yeah, I mean, you know, I agree. You can worship from everywhere. I really hope that houses of worship can come back, but you know, that's a big thing. Jay, did he mention mail-in voting? You know, they talked more about trying to get people back to the polls in person, but he's more concerned about the virus than getting people back to the polls. That's a big thing. So, up there for sure. Press conferences over, Rebecca. What's the biggest takeaway? Biggest takeaway is that they're going to be analyzing things more individually. It's going to be more on an individual basis, not so much on big blanket phases or anything like that. Oh, waste not, want not. Glad you came through here. You're late, and Almanac, you're late too, but it's cool. Here's what basically happened. We talked to the governor. Well, we didn't talk to the governor. We watched the governor speak. And then he explained that he's not going to do any big, and the vacation just in time too. But yeah, he's not going to do any shutdowns, you know? That's a big thing. He's not going to do any shutdowns. He's just trying to check on things individually. So that's the big thing. Also, so he's trying to evaluate bars individually. He's going by county by county for the most part, and then bar by bar. So that's going to be the biggest thing, bar by bar, place to place. Oh, and thank you very much for the super chat. Glad I could give you the news brief here. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure you guys would have found it on your own too, but I really appreciate you guys coming through and supporting me on this too. So thank you so much for that. All right, Pat, thanks for coming through here. Voting mattered. They wouldn't let you do it. You know, Matt, I'm definitely a big proponent of voting. One thing that I learned from my folks, my professors, and all that. All my teachers is like, you know, if you want to complain, make sure you vote. You tried to do something. You know, that's the big thing. So I love to complain because I vote. I vote, absolutely. And then I complain when I don't get my way. And I think that is also my right as an American citizen. I didn't get my way these last, I think I've been able to vote for about 3 elections now, and coming up on my very 4th presidential election. And I have a feeling either which way it goes, I'm not going to get my way, and I'm going to be upset, but I'm going to complain, and I'm going to complain because I voted. So I'm 100% down with that. All right, Susan, I'll keep you posted. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it out to Vegas in September, but if I do, hit me up. I will be around. We'll see about it. Yep, LA, that's a very good answer. You need to be an informed voter. That's another big thing. So you definitely gotta make sure you're keeping up with your, you gotta read the articles. You gotta read from both sides. You gotta try and stay unbiased. That's a big thing too. I think partisan. But let's get away from the politics. Everyone, like we streamed the governor's press conference, and yeah, sure, there's politics involved here. Let's talk more about Vegas. So, what other questions do you guys have about that? You know? That's a big thing. So who's planning a trip to Vegas? Do you guys still feel comfortable going to Vegas going forward? I know we're going to be looking at... So it doesn't look like we're looking at any more restrictions. It doesn't look like we're looking at any fewer restrictions. It was kind of a lateral move. Like, yes, there are going to be restrictions. We're loosening up a couple things as far as bar stuff goes. But then the other thing is you got to make sure that you're... you got to make sure that the bar itself, and then the counties too. They're looking at the counties individually, not necessarily, cities and all that. So that's a big thing. All right. So TVP, Tim from Vegas Paradise. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, go ahead and check out his channel too. He's going to go back Saturday, no concerns at all. That's good. Craig is wondering if we're wearing a mask in the pool. As last time I checked, when you're physically in the pool, no. And when you're at your chair, no. It's just kind of when you're like moving over to the pool bar or what have you, as long as you're not eating or drinking. So, Vicky, good question. Did the governor say July 31st or August 3rd? He said July 31st is going to be the next one. So that's a big one. So we'll keep an eye out. We'll see what happens Friday, see if there's a big update. Kyle, unrelated question. What's your take on the bullet train that's been announced? The one from California. It's not a major concern to me, but I am really hyped that they're going to actually have a train you can take to Vegas. I'm a big proponent of trains. I wish that America was physically smaller so we could do more trains, and then it wouldn't be so ridiculously expensive to upkeep and so ridiculously expensive to use compared to other countries. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great thing. You know, it'll keep tourism in Vegas, and it'll make it a lot easier on Californians. So I'm happy about that. Let's see, where else are we? Hopefully I didn't miss too many. Oh, when do you think they're going to have bans on Fremont? When they get out of the red zone. Maybe if we can get into the yellow zone, close to the green zone here. That seems to be their biggest thing now, is zones. Less phases, more zones. So they're just going to evaluate it case by case. So I bet you we're going to see bans when they get back into the yellow zone, maybe the green zone. Favorite reward, definitely at this point it's free play, because I can't do a lot of other stuff right now. I like show tickets, but free play is the biggest one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Trying to get that out there. October, GF is uncomfortable. Yeah, Malcolm, I feel you, man. Oh, thanks, Philip. Appreciate you. Present menu. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, MM, with the... have to wear a mask in the pool area. Let's see. It's getting around a lot longer now, i.e. Uber and Lyft. Yeah, it did take me a bit longer. Peak hours, it's going to be rough, Craig, so just FYI. Cindy, as far as the Mirage reopening, obviously the governor didn't address that, but allegedly they're supposed to be opening around August 16th or maybe the 6th or something like that. That's what I keep hearing. Those are the two dates I keep hearing, so that's a big one. Tori, yes, there is an update on the bars opening. In Clark County, no. In smaller counties, yes, absolutely. Kino Kid, what is for dinner? It is Marinara Monday. Baby, it's Marinara Monday, right? We doing spaghetti? Yep, that is spaghetti, guys, so that's what's happening. Almanac, I have not heard about Cromwell yet, so that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Vicky, did MGM Resorts cancel all the shows in August? I have not heard about it, officially there. So that's a big thing. Anyone got a link to the press conference? Dragon Josh, you can actually watch the replay on this over here. Alternately, I think I have a copy of Governor Sisolak's press conference right here on their official YouTube channel now, because they apparently have an official YouTube channel. How about I go ahead and drop that on the live chat over here? Yeah, Colleen, it'd be like that every once in a while. Welcome aboard. We take all types here, as long as you're 21 and up. Went with Alfredo. Enjoy and cheers. Definitely, Tori. Drink to that, brother. Yeah, no worries, Josh. Happy to help there. That'll be minus my commentary, so minus my smart-ass remarks. But if you enjoy my smart-ass remarks, you can go ahead and rewatch the whole thing here. So I'm looking forward to this. Let me see if there's an abridged version for anyone else that's wondering. Governor Sisolak update speech. I don't think anyone's written an article about it. USA Today has not. Las Vegas, Nevada. All other counties are allowed to reopen the bars. So if you are in Clark, Elko, Nye, and Washco, those are going to remain closed for the next week. So Las Vegas, no bars for at least the next week, guys. Just FYI, in case you guys missed it. Nice. All right, Tim. Thanks for coming through. Muffy, thanks for coming through, bud. PJ, can you use free play rewards every day? Yes, you can. I haven't, especially my Konami, so it's good stuff. Oh man, BD's gonna get Colleen over there. Colleen got Karen. Oh, there you go. Robert's got a good link over here. The Nevada Health Response. Let me open that up. Let's see what we got over here. Prepare, don't panic. This is their new website. I like this. Look at how clean that looks. Look at how blue and clean that is. So it looks like we've had a few confirmed cases, 43,000. 500,000 tests done already, and daily positivity rate. Here's our problem, guys. Daily positivity rate, 17%. Deaths under 1,000. These are all terrible. that we have deaths. We've had deaths in our Vegas community, unfortunately, and I'm actually I'm broken up about that. I hate to see that there are any deaths, especially for anything that could be considered preventable. So, one of those deals. It's rough. It's rough, guys. But these are the official stats that he's kind of basing things off of. So there have been a lot of tests, total tests and total people tested. I find that fascinating, but I guess there's some repeats in here too. So we got a positive rate of under 10% overall. Daily positive rate recently looks like it's 17%. We're reducing hospitalizations, but we have more suspected cases, and we're reducing the number of people in ICU. So that's better. Robert, which hotel has the best room service? The quickest for me has been New York, personally. But I'd have to do a little more research on that, Robert. I'd have to double check Wynn's. I feel like Wynn does well. Phil, thanks for coming through. You take care, man. I appreciate you coming through, buddy. Seems like Vegas. Yeah, Craig is right. Doing massive offers. You have $1,000 in free play and $1,500 in comps. Hey, there you go. You're doing good. Hey, Daniel, thanks for coming by. We're gonna wrap up the stream in about 3 minutes here. Thanks for coming by, though. Check out that replay if you want the meat and the potatoes here. Let's see, Nadir. Is the Allegiant Stadium opened in 2020 or 2021? It's supposed to open in 2020, but we'll see what happens with all this stuff here. So we'll see about that. Yeah, Robert, launch that channel. Let me know, man. Let me know. Let's see, we had 6 buffets booked for Wynn until they took it away. Yeah, it's going to be a rough time on Wynn right now, getting those buffets worked out. I might start playing up again. I had to take a break. I was just kind of over them changing the rules constantly, so it happens. Oh, Craig, yeah, thanks for coming through. Welcome aboard. Mike, hopefully your Vegas trip is going to go well. Mike mentioned here. So, like I said, not a lot of major changes. It's just keeping an eye on things, so at least one more week of bar closures in Vegas. So hopefully next week. So hopefully by the next in the next week or two of August, these cases have dropped down. So if the cases have dropped down, let's get back in here. BDB, yes, all you can eat at the Wynn. It's more of like a restaurant style thing, so it's good stuff. Hey Lisa, glad you made it to the live chat over here. Welcome aboard. So just FYI, we'll have the replay coming up. I'm going to leave the replay up. I always leave the replays up. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop off in just a minute or two here. So if you guys do want to go ahead and do some drops and all that. I think I'm going to have a room tour tomorrow if you guys are interested. Just FYI, so it's going to be at MGM Grand. It's going to give you a general idea what the rooms are looking like and what the service is looking like and all that too. Thank you all again for hitting those super chats. Thanks again to my moderators too. I know things got a little hairy in there and I couldn't keep up with the live chat, but thank you guys for keeping the peace, keeping the order in there. I really appreciate you guys here. Show us the bedroom. No. There's a pretty girl in there, BDV. I'm not. That's the. She's hanging out there. No, actually, never mind. She just came through the living room and is going back to the kitchen there and is implicating that I need to help cook. So I'm gonna get on that. Comps guy, text me, bro. We need to talk. But yeah, it's gonna be an MGM Grand room tour. It's gonna be a Grand Tower. So you guys will see the Grand Tower tomorrow. I'm gonna put that up tomorrow or Wednesday, one of the two. All right, Spinners and Sharks, but that's all the time I have today. I'm starving, and I've been waiting on this one for a little while. We are officially at the 6 o'clock hour Vegas time, and I'm going to go ahead and call it good. So thanks again, Spinners and Sharks. This is Ace of Vegas, and I'm signing out. I'm wishing you all strong hands, happy spinning, and, of course, through this whole thing, good health.